Hey, what's happening, everybody? Brian the Darkness from Team Forbidden coming at you with another deck profile. I know it's been a while, you guys, but since the holidays are coming in, especially for Halloween in the next couple of days, might as well go ahead and give you guys an updated zombie deck profile with the new support. So might as well go ahead and get it started, you guys, with our awesome playmat of Zombie World and our awesome field center as well. Why not? So, starting off, you guys, we are going to be going with 2 Shinryu Solitaire. This is a key component to go ahead and set up for your link plays when you get in for your Uni Zombie. 2 is suffice, 3 is too bricky, so definitely go with your 2. It allows you to go ahead and get a zombie tuner with a 0 defense from your deck. It allows you to go ahead and special summon it. So your main go-to for that, of course, would be Uni Zombie. Then when Uni Zombie, you could target one face-up monster onto the field, discard 1 card, and then increase the level of the targets by 1. It's always beneficial out for this deck, especially when you're running your synchros and as well for other combo plays. So you might as well go ahead and start increasing and decreasing the levels at will. Next up, we are going with our Revival Sense, so we're going to be going with 3 Mizuki. You could banish this card from the graveyard to target 1 zombie and special summon that target. Following up, 1 Gozuki. Not as particularly good as Mizuki, but is good just as is. We're only running the 1 of this though, of course. During the main phase, you can send 1 zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish 1 zombie monster from your graveyard except Gozuki, special summon 1 zombie type from your hand, which is awesome. And you can only do it once per turn, but nonetheless, it's still a very key component in this deck that combos a lot. Speaking of a good comboing off, we're going to be going with 2 Doom King Balrog. This one is awesome. During the standby phase, if a face-up card on the field zone, this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn and once per chain. When a zombie monster, except for Balrog, activates this effect during the damage step. Quick effect, you can apply one of these effects, which would be to either negate that effect or banish 1 monster from the field or graveyard, which is always good to go ahead if your opponent has something out, they want to go ahead and revive out for something. Now you don't have to, and you can also negate out for effects, but it is only once. Next, we are going to be going with 3 of the Necroworld Banshee. It's a key component card. I had it at 2 at the time, but I figure that 3 is just as good. 1 per Zombie World, so why not? We are running Zombie World in this deck, so we might as well utilize as many resources as we can to go ahead and cheat it out right away. And at the same time, that you can activate 1 Zombie World when you banish it from the field or the graveyard and directly from your hand or your deck. So you can only use it once per turn, but nonetheless, you want to be able to utilize that to your advantage, in case if your opponent has a lot of things out into play, and you already know what Zombie World does. So that's why this is a very key component for this deck. Next, we're going to be going with 2 Glow Up Bloom. It's a very good card. Some people run it at 1. I figure 2 is pretty good. This sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from the graveyard and add a level 5 or higher zombie from your deck to your hand. So mainly you want to go ahead and shoot for your Balrog to go ahead and set up for your combo plays, to go ahead and special summon it and then do a whole bunch of nasty stuff. If Zombie World is in the field zone, you can special summon it from the deck instead. Then in any other case, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for zombies. You can only do the 1 thing for the Glow Up Bloom once per turn, but like you care, it's still good to set up for your combo plays and go ahead and set up a lot of disruption. Then we're going to be going with 2 of the new guy. This is Aogul Mazera. And the zombie monsters you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect. You can banish this card from your hand or graveyard instead. If this card is banished from the hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. Then you can reduce its level by 1. As I said before, a lot of these decks Now with the zombie card support are now going to be increasing and decreasing levels at will, so then that way they can set up better plays to get the synchros out. Also, we have one Mad Molar. This is one of the newest tuners that came out, and this card is Plague Spreader Zombie while on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 6 or higher monster you control, mainly the Bazera or anything else, and you can reduce this level by 2. And if you do special summon this card, also the person who special summoned it cannot special summon monsters except for zombies while this card is face up in the monster zone. And you can only do it once per turn, but that's okay. Next, we have one Changshi the Spiradio. This is one of the newest ones as well that came out, and it's really, really fun. During your main phase, you could send one zombie from your hand or deck or graveyard. This card is banished. You can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard and special summon this card. But place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. You can only use it once per turn. But that still allows you to go ahead and keep on using out for your resources so that you don't completely deck out. And then that way you can at least keep on replenishing out for your field as well. Because they're zombies, they'll keep on coming back. Next, we're going to be going with one Painter. I decided to go with this one instead of Plague Spreader Zombie. It's slightly better. When this card becomes Plague Spreader Zombie while onto the field. Once per turn, you can target up to 2 zombie monsters you control, except for this card. They become level 2 till the end phase, until the end of this turn. Then if they do, they cannot be used as a secret material except for a zombie monster. So this is actually really good in case if you want to reduce the levels out right away to go ahead and set up a bunch of plays to get big guys out from your extra deck. This is the way. This is one main go-to. I know a lot of people run Plague Spreader, but after getting some very insightful insight, I might as well go ahead and take it for what it is and put in the Painter in its place. It's a lot better. Plus, it doesn't banish itself, so that's also another good thing to have on towards that. Then we're going to be going with one Jacobolin. You don't need any more than Jacobolin. I know on previous deck profiles, I ended up running a whole bunch of Jacobolin. You only need the one. It's too cloggy, but you can discard one zombie monster and special summon it from your hand. Then during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can target one zombie in either player's graveyard, special summon the monster, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then you could banish this card face up into the end phase. But it's always good to go ahead and start stealing your opponent's stuff, especially when Zombie World is out, which you'll see in a little bit. Finally, we're going to be going here with just this main lineup here. Destrudo, the Lost Dragon's Vision. I decided to go ahead and put this one in only because it could reduce out its level pretty good, and it also has a nice little bonus effect as far as you target one level 6 or lower monster you control, and they can special summon it. But then at the same time, you could also place this card at the bottom of the deck. So it's good to utilize, and you don't really care too much about life points. At least with this deck here, you're just trying to get everything out, take your opponent's stuff, and then just hit them real hard with it. Then we're going to be finally going with 3 Ash Blossom, the Joyous Spring, a.k.a. Big 4-headed bathwater, baby. Yeah. So this is a zombie, and if nobody's running this, I am very shocked, and I honestly feel very bad. Because it is a tuner, it is a zombie, and it also has its negation effects. What more could you ask for? And if you're not running Ash Blossom, I don't know what kind of zombie deck you're running, but you need this. And you need to run 3. No less than 3. It is zombies. It is Ash Blossom. Period. So that's it for the monsters. Now let's go ahead and we'll get on with the spells. On towards our spells, you guys, we are going to be going with 3 Zombie World, no less. We have the 3 Banshees, so we might as well have 3 Zombie World. And you want to be able to get Zombie World out as much as you can. And even if it breaks into your hand, that's okay, because at least you're maintaining stability into your hand. So in case if one of your Zombie Worlds gets destroyed, you have another one to go ahead and bring out. A lot of people run 2, and it's not wise to go ahead and do that unless you really know what you're doing. Then fine, go ahead and run the 2. But I suggest 3 is the best option. You have 1. You have another one for a backup. The third one is just to be there in case if you really do need it. 1 terraforming, it's free real estate, allows you to go ahead and get your extra zombie world out just to be safe on the safe side. 1 foolish burial, it's a foolish burial, and it is a zombie deck. It allows you to go ahead and send 1 monster to the graveyard. You might as well go ahead and utilize that to your advantage. Then we're going to be going with 3 super poly. I know these are different colored sleeves. I'm working on a budget here. I didn't have time to get extra sleeves, so please forgive me onto that. But in any case, 3 super poly. We are definitely running super poly package in this deck, so might as well go ahead and run the 3. 2 is okay. I might think of a different card to go ahead and substitute if I just wanted to go with 2, but 3 seems to be pretty substantial. Then we're going to be going with 2 Zombie Reborn. This is a new spell that ended up coming out as well into that set for the zombies. Target 1 zombie monster in your graveyard, banish 1 monster with the same name from your deck or extra deck. And if you do, special summon the targeted monster to your field. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one of the banished monsters, zombie monsters, into the deck. And if you do, set this card. But you banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use 1 Zombie Reborn once per turn. So it allows you to go ahead and utilize your effects to get your zombies out. That way you can place it face down and do it again. Then we're going to be going with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. It's Harpy's Feather Duster. There's not much else I could say about that, just because we could have nice things. Also, another we could just have nice things is a Monster Reborn, because why not? Target 1 monster in either graveyard and special summon it. And the newest addition as well from the ban list is Change of Heart. Yeah, remaining Change of Heart. I know people don't really use it out for much, but hey, if you could take a monster and smack your opponent with it, hey, why not? Use all the resources you can, right? Finally, on our traps, we're just going to be going with 3 Rivalry of the Warlords. I know it has alternative text, it doesn't matter, but basically the most updated version is that each player controls 1 type of monster, and all the rest gets sent to the graveyard. Flat out, that's it. And then as far as our extra deck goes, we are going to be going with 1 Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord. This is the newest one that came out. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target 1 zombie monster in your graveyard except for the Zombie Dragon Lord. Special summon it, and if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish 1 zombie you control. Special summon this card. You can only do it once per turn, but that's okay. Big beefy boy, might as well have it come out. Next up, we have 1 Immortal Dragon. During your main phase, you can send 1 zombie monster from the deck to the graveyard, and if you do, the level will become the difference of the original levels of the monster and this card. You go ahead and basically try and pick up for the difference between the levels of the go ahead and bring it out. When the zombie monster is destroyed by battle while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. But that's okay, because you're still utilizing it to go ahead and set up combo plays to bring out other zombies. Speaking of which, we also have 1 Skeletal Dragon Felgran. If it is a special summon, you can target 1 monster the opponent controls or in their graveyard and banish it. If a monster is special summoned from either graveyard while this monster is onto the field, except to the damage step, you can target 1 other face-up monster onto the field, negate its effects until the end of the turn. What more could you want from that? It's pretty brutal. Then, as far as our links go, 2 Vampire Sucker. It's Vampire Sucker. It's always good. You can target the monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, to your opponent's field, in defense position, but then it'll become a zombie monster, which is always nice. And then if the monster was special summoned from either graveyard, you'll draw 1 card. This allows you to get your draw power for the deck, so it doesn't clump. With Appaloosa, it's Appaloosa. It's always nice to have that. And then the original attack of this card becomes 800 times the number of co-linked materials. Why not? Once per chain, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can make this card lose exactly 800, negate the activation. Why not? We always like to have negations. It's always fun to have those. one excessive code Tucker. It's excessive code Tucker. What else can I say about it? Link it all up, beef it up, you're good. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. One Evandred Savior. 7-digit Savior. It's a zombie. Why not? You can target one Vendread in the graveyard and add it to your hand. We're not running Vendreads, but that's okay. We utilize it towards the second effect, actually. During the damage calculation, if it battles an opponent's monster, quick effect. Send one zombie from the deck to the graveyard. That opponent's monster will lose attack equal to the level sent to the graveyard times 200 until the end of the turn. Why not? We're a jerk, so why not? It's always fun to do that. Then we're going to be going with our one Abyss Dweller because Terra Limits are a thing. This isn't exactly too competitive, to say for the very least. I know there's other cards that can be added in this deck to make it a little bit more beefed up. Maybe I'll take this thing over to YCS or even a locals one of these days. So as long as it's kind of like beefed up a little bit better now compared to what it already is. But it's still good, fun, casual play. Terraments use a lot of effects into the graveyard, so Abyss Dweller says no, so that way you won't be able to have them come back. A special summon, use their effects to go ahead and fusion summon and do a whole bunch of stupid stuff. One Zombie Vampire. This is the newest edition as well from when the zombies came out. If you use a monster with a level that is owned by your opponent for the XYZ summon of this card, treat it as a level 8. And neither player can target this card with effects of special summon monsters, except for those special summon monsters from the graveyard. Detach one from this, and each opponent sends the top 4 cards of the deck to the graveyard. And if any monsters were sent there by this effect, you can target one of them and special summon it to your field, which is really stupid, but also very good. Now, as far as our fusion packaging goes, as I said before, we're going with one Mud Dragon of the Swamp, one Predator Plant, Dragostopelia, one Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon. There's your Super Poly targets. But then we also have as well 2 of the Dragon Necro. Another Soul Dragon is really brutal. You need to run 2 of this card. It's really stupid. At the end of the damage step, if it battled a monster that had an original attack, the monster will also have its attack become 0. If the monster is still face up onto the field, you can get a Dark Soul token, which unfortunately I don't have any Dark Soul tokens right now, but when I do, I'll get some for sure. When it's summoned, the attack of the attack will become equal to the original attack of the monster you control. I'm sorry, of that monster. I believe that was the one that was destroyed. Yes, the one that was destroyed. So, but I'm sorry, the monster that it was face up on. Sorry. And you can only use you can only control one Nether Soul Dragon. But I mean, if this one gets targeted out, you have another one for the backup. That's why the second one is there. I'm not saying to run 2 because you could bring out 2. I'm saying 2 because you have one to use. The other one is for a follow-up in case if this one gets banished, countered, anything in that nature. You have the other one to go ahead and bring out and set up for other plays. So that is it for the deck. Honestly, I could definitely beat this thing up a lot more than what it already is, but this is just something that I'm kind of like whittling around with a little bit, just kind of playing around with and seeing how well that it plays. But if you guys like that, go ahead and like and subscribe. Also, hit that post notification bell so you guys don't miss a beat. Check out our Discord and our other social media, guys. Stay tuned for live streams and other communications, and I'll catch you guys all in the next time.